Hallo, welkom bij de SecureTV. Ik sta hier met Sandy Bird, de CTO en een van de oprichters van Q1 Labs, de SIEM oplossing waarmee we werken. Sandy, hello, nice to meet you. It's great to have you on this Q1 event today. Sandy, we both spent quite some time on evangelizing the SIEM solution in the market. We have successes with it. Can you explain a little bit why Q1 Labs is one of the successful vendors in this space?
Yeah, I think at Q1 Labs we spent a lot of time trying to simplify the solution for the end user while keeping all the complexity hidden from them, building very good solutions to basically highlight the key threats that they're looking for on a day-to-day basis. So that's one of the key parts that we focus on. We do that in a lot of ways. One is actually taking a lot of data sources that sometimes people don't use for telemetry, but use them for tuning the system and making it easier to set up, easier to run. The other thing that we're seeing from a success standpoint is the world is changing. You can no longer detect threats using single individual security devices anymore. You'll basically just miss things. And by taking all of that data, correlating it together into a single system, doing correlation across the top of it, understanding risk profiles, those types of things, it allows us to highlight the key threats in your environment very, very quickly.
Sandy, that's great, and we see that people need this desperately in their infrastructure to see all the information they get thrown to them. The next step in there is actually also looking at the flow information. So can you tell me why that is so important for the customers as well?
Definitely. Q1 Labs started dealing with flows back in 2000, 2001. And we looked at that information as a set of data to do anomaly detection with at the time. And that was really our key focus, was determining things like zero-day threats, new things happening in your network that you haven't seen before. We learned a couple of very interesting things in those early years, though. That data itself actually makes the SIEM more efficient. It does two things. It detects things that you would have missed by just looking at event sources, but it also helps us eliminate false positives. SIEMs take a long time to tune, you have to set them up, all kinds of different tweaking. The flow data gives us information to find your systems, understand what those systems' processes are, understand what applications run on them, to help us reduce that data set down. The other thing that's very important, though, from flows is really about forensics and after the fact. When you're trying to actually investigate an incident, a lot of times when we use just events, we basically run into a roadblock where we said, hey, we saw this chunk of data, we saw this particular accept message in a firewall and it left the network, but now we don't know what it is. We don't know what left the network. We don't know what information was inside of those packets. The flow data actually allows us to go in, do a small amount of packet capture from that, and actually see into the headers of the message and even into the messages itself. So we can really tell if it was critical information that actually left the network.
Okay, thanks for having you on this event, and have a nice way back to the US and see you the other time.
Will do.
Thank you.